This is the same as ever, right? The same formula and graph on the blackboard. The same typewriter, the same tea set. The same violin, the same great analytoscope. Is this new? And this looks like last week's edition. What's that article circled in red ink there? It's in an advertisement column. It says, "To the Red-Headed League." The Red-Headed League? What's that? I don't know. I've never heard of it before, but... Is something on my face? Clearly this has something to do with that lively hair. The Red-Headed League. Oh, and there's a mask. My eye is always drawn to this big metal chest. Okay, forget about the big metal chest. Yeah, there are important papers in there. But only the other day I saw Mr. Sholmes kick it. Oh no! I suppose something must have been frustrating him. What a shame to mistreat the furniture though. Was it damaged? The chest was fine, but Mr. Sholmes was doubled up on the floor for almost 10 minutes. Oh dear, that is a painful tale. The mask Cosima wore when he was assigned to Lord Van Zieks as his apprentice. Why is it here? When you cast it aside after the trial the other day, I just sort of picked it up. Oh. We ought to give it back to him, I suppose. But he has his memory back now, doesn't he? And I can't help feeling he might turn around and tell me coldly to wear it myself. What? That's not how I know Cosima. But isn't he your best friend? Oh boy. Maybe Sholmes knew that someone wanted to kill Cosima, right? So he did that ruse and sent him back to Hong Kong so that he can get back to Japan. But yeah, his error in judgment led to the fact that he found his way to Great Britain on his own? Crazy. And Lord Strongheart. Maybe he also knew that someone was gonna kill him, so he disguised him using a mask and a hood and everything? Something like that? The Red-Headed League. On account of the bequest of the late Ezekiah Hopkins of Lebanon, USA, there's now another vacancy open which entitles a member of the League to a salary of £4 a week for purely nominal services. All red-headed men who are sound in body and mind and above the age of 21 years are eligible. Apply in person on the morning of the 31st at the large park on Lime Street. Get £4 per week if you are a redhead. Oh, the most fantastic money-making opportunity. Okay, is that the solution to Sholmes' problem? £4 a week. What are nominal services? Purely nominal service. This sounds so sketchy. Almost sounds like the person who wants to hire them has like a fetish for red-headed men. I mean, I can see it. I can get behind that. It looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Sholmes. To the Red-Headed League? Does that strike you in some way? I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair. Hehehehe. So you noticed. At last you've learned to apply my methods, Mr. Naruhodo. What? In the first instance and quite indispensable. What? In quite indispensable observation. Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut. So then, allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits. Regale or boast. So what is the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you've circled? You noticed in the paper then? That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's rent payment. It was? How? According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecified governance. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair. That doesn't entirely surprise me. It doesn't? But listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. An unconditional salary of £4 a week. Oh my, £4 a week? But why? What are they paying people for? That I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement. But surely every red-headed person in the country would be flocking to join that case. You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I put in my application at once. Oh yeah, you do have red hair. So will I, just on the off chance. That might be stretching a point, I think. The trouble is, they have a fixed number of members, you see. It also says, like, only age 21 or above, Iris. Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can. But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away. It wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I fear, Mr. Sholmes. So you decided to try to join in his place? Correct. I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen such a red-headed fella? No. So why? Why did it have to go so wrong? What on earth happened? A blunder, Mr. Naruhodo, though it pains me to admit it. A blunder? What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Sholmes? I'm glad you asked, Mr. Sato. What you see atop my head is neither dyed nor a hairpiece. I changed the color of my hair overnight. By the wonders of chemistry. Chemistry? Well, that's hair dye, right? I was conducting some research into a method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves. Rejuvenating spent tea leaves? Such a thing even possible? And in the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that when taken turns one's hair flame like red. Would you like to try it? It will make every hair on your body perfectly crimson. I think I'll pass. Wait, does it work on people with black hair? But Mr. Sholmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it? Hehehe, amateurs are always hampered by such fears. Oh, I should have never doubted you, Mr. Sholmes. You mean to say... But of course! To earn £4 per week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger. That degree of red signals more than just a little danger, surely? And so anyway, Hurley left full of confidence yesterday with his new red hair. For the park on Lime Street, where the Red-Headed League were interviewing prospective new members. So what went wrong? The whole park was choked with red-headed folk, like a Costa's orange barrow. I queued for 8 hours solid before at last I reached the front, but when the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation? So naturally I had no choice but to reply, Shh! Shush! Don't give me away. After which I could do little else but turn and leave. Then this morning, when I looked in the mirror, irritation stirred within me. So I turned that pair into the office. What? Oh dear, what a disaster for Holly and those two redheads. Why did you turn them to the police? What did they do? Mr. Sholmes, you mentioned before that you were expecting a guest today. Indeed, Mr. Sato, that is correct. Not another of those red-headed gentlemen that were here before? Not at all, they were petty villains. The guest I am expecting is a client. Oh. A young gentlewoman who wishes to appoint the services of this great detective, no less. Oh, how wonderful, Mr. Sholmes. You must stay and observe the fashion in which a great detective receives his customers. Must we? I have you in my clutches now, Rent, just as I have you in my clutches, redheads. That hearty laugh is masking rather sinister thoughts, I feel. You know, the lady isn't due for another hour yet. Don't feel as though you must wait around if you have other things to do. Okay, yeah, we do have other things to do. We need to visit Lord Strongheart. So let's visit Lord Strongheart and have a strong word with him. Here's the final draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. I've supplemented your original with the figures you asked for from the yard. I see. Excellent work. Thank you. You're welcome, my lord. What's Lord Van Zieks doing here? My, there seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air, wouldn't you say? Really? This place is stifling enough as it is. We really don't need any more attention. I've been spotted. My apologies, I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress make you all but invisible to me. Oh, no, it's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure. From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come here. Now then, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord, I'm right here. Kill me now. Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you. Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room at such a perfect temperature. Okay, enough, Runo. If you're sure, the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise. It's not because of the heat, because of the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly. As you're no doubt aware, my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. Are we just gonna ignore the elephant in the room? In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madam. Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited. I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands then, Lord Van Zieks. I will attend at once. Oh, look at the glance he gave me. He gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he? I know, but I haven't done anything, have I? Looked like a warning, almost. These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion by someone. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still of service? Mr. Naruhodo, he's talking about Dr. Scythe. Ah, of course. I'm terribly sorry about that. I was just, Fear not, you've done nothing wrong. Dr. Scythe's own wrongdoing precipitated the situation. Oh, okay, phew. You needn't concern yourself with it any further. Okay, cool. That would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me. He looks just as always, though. Lord Van Zieks is doing an admirable job of holding the fort. Though disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday. Missing? Missing? What's become of Kazuma-sama now? Lord Strongheart, did you know that was Kazuma-sama? Excuse me, we cannot leave this unanswered. About Lord Van Zieks' apprentice? Oh yes, that came as a surprise to me, I must say, that you and he are old friends. Are you serious? He was the lawyer that was supposed to come here and you're saying you don't know him? How did he become an apprentice? It came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel. Oh my, so he stowed away to get here. He had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too. Other than the fact he was clearly of Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Van Zieks, that way I could keep an eye on him. But then, why the mask? I didn't want to burden Lord Van Zieks with tiresome explanations about why he had an Eastern apprentice. Because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask. I mean, to be honest, Lord Van Zieks does have a problem with the Nipponese, so he's proving to be a great help to Lord Van Zieks. I have high hopes for his future. By the way, do you know where he's gone? No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being. Left? Where to? Oh. I take it you also didn't know that the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, I mean. Genshin Asugi. What we learned from the trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was... Ah yes, Genshin Asugi. That professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain. There were such awful murders, and unprecedented, using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon. And no one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government. So the true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then, and can't be made public now. Nobody in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London. The main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations, I understand? Correct, however. It has to be noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause. What was his cause? What? Supporters of a mass murderer? The majority of the man's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. Or so a fair few thinkers in London believed anyway. Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it? It seems very similar, doesn't it? To the idea of the Reaper of the Bailey. Oh god, could these two people be related? Two phenomena. Not long ago, visitor numbers to the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million. 30 million? Are there even that many people in the world? As a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, the population of the imperial capital Tokyo is 2 million. Wow. I will be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition's main auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making, 2 years of preparations and negotiations with other countries. Sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations. The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques, and cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential. Which is why this landmark first symposium had to be hosted here at the heart of our great British Empire, in order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World. He's the same as ever, I see. That passion of his is quite something. You're every bit as passionate in your own way, I'm sure, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. Okay, isn't this going a little bit too far? The only person? It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. So the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions because of someone. I first established the FIT a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Scythe at the helm, it was steadily accruing an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department. And can you not do that now? Obviously, nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep this story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I'd say. Unintended repercussions of our trial. We simply couldn't have overlooked what had happened, though. Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way. He's quite a chasing after a goal until you reach the goal type of person, no matter what happens. Okay, shall we return home now that we've no further business here? Okay, bye! Bye, Lord Strongheart. Aha! Here is my guest now, my latest client with money to spend. Oh, I do hope it's an exciting case, Hurley. Remember, Iris, we are at present gripped by the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept any case, no matter how unstimulating, save locating a runaway, of course. Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you? Wait, does this refer to something? Oh dear, I'm afraid that Harry can lack a little tact, especially just before the rent is due. Oh. Oh, hello. Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, please, oh please. Please find my husband, he's run away. There we go. To upset me. I beg your pardon? Never mind, a personal matter, my apologies. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. Naruhodo? I didn't say anything! Come, my dear madam, be seated. I will some tea, if you please. Of course. What's the matter, Mrs. Sato? Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. I feel sure I've seen her somewhere before. Very recently. Yeah, I wonder where. Yes, now you come to mention it. I have such a terrible memory. I mean, Runo has. As I explained earlier, my name is Evie Vigil. I implore you to take the case, sir. Money is no object. Simply name your figure. Wow, a blank check? Money and wealth are of little consequence to me, madam. Come on, Sholmes. Being offered a case itself is reward enough. No way, are you not gonna take any money, really? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you are the picture of benevolence. I will, of course, make a mental note of your offer, however, for contingent reasons. What does that mean? What does that mean? I trust you will remember your words also. If I might inquire, sir. This gentleman and lady would be? Have you forgotten me already? Oh, me? Don't mind us. What I am about to tell you, I should like to communicate in the strictest confidence, you understand? Ah, these are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me. I see. I can vouch for the gentleman personally, after all. He's hard of hearing. Excuse me? Why did I ever get my hopes up? Do we speak to her? Sholmes, do you not want to speak with her? Forgive me for asking, Mrs. Vigil, but have we met somewhere before? Quite recently, perhaps? Oh my! Pshaw! My dear fellow, what is your intention? Clearly you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of the English. Excuse me? When did you become so racist? If you wish to invite the lady to tea, you must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion. Is it possible that you're the nice young lawyer from the trial I attended last week? Ah, I knew I recognized her. Do I have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand? Oh gosh, oh golly, it sends shivers down my spine. I didn't quite recognize her because she's acting so differently now. It must be very difficult for you as a lawyer, being hard of hearing, I mean. Don't believe anything Sholmes tells you. Pardon? Oh dear, I'm so sorry, don't worry if you can't hear. It was a frippery, really, nothing more. Now look what you've started, Mr. Sholmes, thank you very much. I believe it would be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner. Excuse me? Yes. Tell us about your husband, madam. Mr. Vigil, my daily, is 40 years of age. I have a photograph here. They have the same haircut. Huh, an entirely unremarkable gentleman, by appearance at least. Don't say that! How long have you been married? It will be 15 years this year. We have a cordial relationship and my husband's income is more than adequate, so we live quite comfortably. You're very rich, so to say, as it would appear. I need only look at you to know these things. Oh gosh! Your dress is the latest style, your hair clearly irregularly groomed, and your eyes are animated. In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct? That's right, he's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty, and he rather dotes on me. Which would point to the possibility that he has become embroiled in some incident or other. Oh, that is exactly what I fear must have happened, Mr. Sholmes. I'm quite beside myself. My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see. What if he's incurred some miscreant's ill will? Unusual? What exactly is your husband's line of work? He is a warder at a prison. A guard. That is somewhat unusual. So, your husband is a prison warder? That's right, yes. Well, in actual fact, he's the chief warder. Indeed, I see. Well, chief prison warder certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation. Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see that they are carried out. Dreadful punishments? Does she mean capital punishments? And at such times, he must occasionally spend a night or two in a prison dormitory. But for that extra responsibility, he is remunerated more handsomely than the other warders. Of course, we make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbors. Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged? Berkeley Prison, Mr. Sholmes. Really, Berkeley? Oh, a fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there's a large cemetery just behind it. Yes, that's correct. Lowgate Cemetery. Oh, what a coincidence. No! Lowgate Cemetery, the very place we were discussing in court. That's unbelievable! Unbelievable, my dear fellow, and yet undeniable. Since when can you read my mind as well? What the heck is happening? Sorry, Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid you've lost me. Pay no heed, madam, pay no heed. A private matter. This can't really be a coincidence, can it?